The young pop star returns with a new tour after a year spent in rehab. However, the girl is haunted by the presence of a mysterious smiling spirit seeking revenge for what she has done in the past. Police officer Joel, who passed the curse after the death of his girlfriend, is tracking someone in a suburban house. After waiting for the owner to return, he picks up the mask and, ignoring the burning ghost, drags him into the house at gunpoint. Inside there is a drug den. The partner of the captured criminal watches as Joel kills a colleague with a knife, after which a small shootout ensues. The wounded cop approaches the dealer to make sure that he is alive and has taken over the curse of the smile. But the bandit dies in his arms. After that, a small dealer Lewis comes into the house, who was unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Realizing that he has already picked up the curse from what he saw, Joel goes to the exit. The rest of the Bratva drove up there. The dealers give chase, but the cop, having barricaded himself in the room, knocks out the air conditioner and escapes through the window, to the whistle of stray bullets. However, when he reached the road, he squandered all his luck and got hit by a car. The camera floats behind, rising above the road, showing a bloody trail that looks like a smile. The story shifts to New York, where singer Skye performs on Drew Barrymore's talk show. After the accident in which her actor boyfriend Paul died, the girl was treated for drug addiction for a year. But now she is ready to return to the stage with a new program. After the show, the singer goes to a rehearsal with her mother Elizabeth and assistant Joshua, where Skye works out the numbers for the concert with backup dancing. During one step, her back catches the consequences of the accident. In the bathroom, she examines the scars left after the incident and plans to throw painkillers. But as soon as I got the pills, a knock on the door forced me to drop the cherished capsules right into the drain. The mother knocks on the door to take the girl home. On the way, Skye writes to a classmate Lewis, who is stocking up on Vicodin from under the floor. Later, when she gets to Lewis, she is surprised by his paranoid strange behavior. The dealer threatens her with a katana and does not remember that they corresponded. Lewis goes to get Vicodin, leaving Skye to watch a report about himself and the accident. He doesn't come back for a long time. The girl follows when Lewis runs out screaming. Again, he doesn't remember how she came. The guy looks at something on the ceiling, but there's nothing there. He screams and coughs, after which he stops breathing. Suddenly he comes to himself and begins to smile strangely. Standing up, Lewis takes a pancake from the barbell, without taking his eyes off the frightened Skye. The dealer, still smiling, starts hitting himself in the face with a pancake, cosplay Nicolas Cage from The Collector of Souls. Only when the face turned into a mess of blood and bones, the guy falls dead. The distraught guest reaches out to call the police, but remembers the presence of drugs. A repeat incident with substances and a dead man will put an end to her career. Therefore, it, like a sleeve from the toilet paper of the throat, is simply washed off. At home, already lying in bed, Skye notices Lewis in the dark. But this is just a wild imagination. The next day, while preparing for a photo shoot, producer Darius visits the dressing room. He invites Skye to speak at a charity event, read out a pre-written speech from a teleprompter. Not missing a chance to once again Popuritzia, the singer happily agrees. While changing her outfit, she receives a message from an unknown number. Someone is wondering if she was at Lewis's yesterday. The reminder turns on the imagination again. The girl hears a noise, but there is no one in the room. Soon she notices a bloody Lewis in the reflection behind her. The deceased puts his fingers in her mouth, stretching his lips in an unnatural smile. Skye screams, and the vision dissipates. Then the singer goes to the rehearsal of the concert, where she should appear from the opening capsule. After that, Skye signs autographs and takes pictures with fans. Among them comes across an inadequate Alfredo, who has to be taken away by the guards. A smiling girl with braces appears next. She doesn't say anything, and looks at Skye all the time, even while taking pictures. Returning home, a depressed Skye calls Jamie, her best friend, with whom she quarreled a year ago, and has not spoken since. She invites her to her place. While passing the time, the singer is playing the piano when she hears the sound of a broken bottle. Removing the shards, Skye sees a t-shirt on the floor, the one that Alfred signed that day. The girl notices the rest of the fan's clothes, including the underwear stained with joy. The fan himself is standing at the end of the corridor. As he rushes forward, Skye runs to the door. There is a jam behind it. The hostess returns to the room, but there is not a trace of the invasion left. Even the whole bottle is standing still. It turns out that more than an hour has passed since the call of a friend. Suspecting that he has started hallucinating, Skye tells Jemmy about Lewis' death and his glitches. Gemma offers to stay the night to morally support her friend. At night, the singer has a nightmare about an accident. When she wakes up, she shares her fears with a friend. Gemma says that Skye deserved it all and begins to smile strangely. When her face turns into headlights, the singer falls off the bed. Suddenly, it turns out that it's already morning. Gemma made coffee, and Skye is not only losing touch with reality, she's also late for rehearsal. She calls a friend with her, but then there are other plans. Skye picks up her mother to remind her that about 100 people are waiting for her to start working. When she gets to the concert hall, Skye takes the time to warm up and tune into work. During the run of the number, she sees the floor. She stumbles and falls, breaking her leg in the same place as before, and screams in pain. But when the music is turned off, it turns out that this has also been measured. Skye, on her nerves, blames the backup dancing, but the choreographer says that no one pushed her. Returning to the dressing room, the singer sees a smiling Joshua coming out of there. There is a pogrom inside. She blames the assistant, but the mother confirms his alibi. He was with her all the time. Realizing that the cuckoo has already bought vacation tickets and is about to leave, Skye asks to cancel all events in order to recover. But the domineering mother insists that we need to get together and continue working. Skye is going to a charity event. While waiting for the exit, she receives a new message from an unknown number, who writes that he is aware of her sin. We chase away the fly. Skye smears her lipstick and goes on stage in this form. She reads the prompter's text, but when he freezes, she is forced to improvise. The girl says that success often pushes young artists into the abyss of drugs and alcohol, in order to relieve stress from the continuous pursuit of popularity. When Dario coughs and asks to change the subject, the girl notices that the prompter has earned. Reading out the text, she invites a guest to the stage, who turns out to be her deceased boyfriend Paul. Skye breaks down, believing that this is all a bad joke, but notices Paul himself at the table. In a dazzling white suit, he walks towards her with a frightening glued smile. She closes her eyes, reminding herself that it's all just being measured. It helps. But when the organizer wants to take her away, Skye sees the dead man again and pushes the woman off the stage onto a table. Realizing that the number of frags can now double, the girl falls into shock. At home, she receives messages from a stranger. He claims that she is in serious danger, but he can help. The interlocutor offers to meet in real life, sending as proof a video shot by a guy who was also haunted by hallucinations. After reviewing it, Skye sees Lewis' ghost again. Then he decides to accept the stranger's invitation. She stays in a pub, where a man named Morris is waiting. He works as a medic. Removing Lewis's ruble, the man found his phones, went to Skype by correspondence. He tells her that she has picked up a parasite, a mental entity that subordinates the mind of the host in order to eventually kill. The parasite is transmitted to someone who witnessed the death of an infected person. Morris' brother died of this infection once. Now Morris wants to save Skye and kill the parasite. The plan is to deliberately stop the girl's heart, and then, when the parasite leaves her, resuscitate her. However, the singer such an intimate offer from a stranger seems unacceptable. When she is recognized, Skye leaves the pub. When she gets home, she packs her things to get away. Taking her suitcase, she goes to the exit, but in the corridor, she meets all her backup dancers. They smile silently, as if they know that a small furry animal has come to her. The girl falls to the fifth point in horror. The dancers walk like crying angels. It is worth looking away from the door for a moment, as they crept closer. But when the singer rushed to the exit, dancing and smiling run after. There is an unpleasant surprise waiting for Skye in the living room. The guests are replenished. They methodically and systematically surround her, moving on all fours, like a quadrover. The attempt to escape was unsuccessful. The singer is grabbed and dragged around the room with greedy hands, throwing her face into the piano, pulling out her hair, and thrusting her hands up to the elbows into her mouth. The story is moved back a year. Skye and Paul are driving in the car. The abuse of finely chopped coconut shavings through the nose leads to a scandal. When Paul starts being rude and calling names, Skye grabs the steering wheel and drives the car to the cliff, which ends in a fatal accident. The girl wakes up in a hospital room with her mother. She says that she was found on the floor. The singer asks to cancel the concert, but her mother reminds her that this will finally ruin her career. No one will give her another second chance. The conversation escalates into a quarrel, which ends with an infernal smile on the mother's face. Elizabeth breaks the mirror and sticks a piece of glass into her throat several times, and then into her eye. In a panic, Skye rips the catheter out of the vein and runs to the exit when she notices a shard in her hand. She is covered with the blood of her mother, whom she stabbed in a hallucinogenic delirium. Wearing a hoodie on a bloody robe, the singer goes to the exit, trying not to attract the attention of the security staff. Joshua's assistant notices her and, seeing the blood, calls for help from doctors. Skye acts out a tantrum, involving a security guard to steal a service weapon. Threatening with a gun, she manages to get out into the street. After cutting her bare foot on the asphalt on a shard, Skye meets Jem. Then the singer, threatening with a gun, steals a car. A friend goes with her to help. Not every date in real life is arranged. After rewinding the leg in the salon, Skye writes to Maurice to ask for help, and he throws off the address. On the way, the singer receives a call from Gemma. Suspecting that another glitch is happening, she picks up the phone. And it turns out she's right. A real friend called after the message just now, and another smiling demon is sitting behind the wheel. Closing her eyes, Skye reminds herself that this is not real and wakes up in the driver's seat, almost organizing a new accident. Skye rushes to the specified address, to an abandoned pizzeria, where there is a working refrigerator. Maurice explains that this is necessary for the successful execution of the plan. He takes her to the cell, where he asks her to change into a bathrobe and lie down on the table to cool down and slow down her heartbeat. After that, the doctor will inject a heart-stopping drug into her neck and then resuscitate her with a defibrillator discharge. While waiting for her to prepare, the man goes out. Lying on the table, Skye sees a version of herself from the accident on the ceiling. Emergency Skye falls from above, breaking the table. The parasite grabs the victim to finally take over the mind and stretch his mouth with his fingers in a smile. At the last moment, the singer regains consciousness and bites off the impudent fingers. Grabbing a syringe, the girl injects herself with the drug, striving to die. But this turns out to be another deception. There is no syringe in the hand. The girl tries to escape, but everything around is subject to a dark entity. The monster puts Skye in a box, which turns out to be a familiar capsule. The girl appears on stage at the very beginning of her concert. She sees a living mother filled to capacity in the hall. Skye understands that the recent events were hallucinations, but even so they are not over yet. A smiling doppelganger appears on the stage in front of her. The doppelganger tears the suit, exposing the scar, which he also tears with his fingers. And an explosion. A huge, bloody monster with a slight Lovecraftian tinge appears and grows in the stomach. The monster pulls his hands to the girl to insert his fingers into his mouth and stretch it into a smile. The audience sees how the singer fainted on stage. But Skye immediately gets up. She turns to them with a wide, as if glued unnatural smile. The singer raises the microphone, but instead of singing, drives it into her head through her eye socket. Right in front of thousands of witnesses who pick up a deadly parasitic curse, turning the creature into a global threat to all mankind.